Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. I am Pastor Nick. I hope you can see me. It looks like it's a little bit dark. I'm actually not at home today. I am away, but anyway, I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. I know I really did. Actually, my wife taught a great message at church on prayer and fasting. We're getting ready to do some of that at our church, man. We're really gonna looking forward to tapping into God's supernatural. But anyway, I want to welcome everybody. I had the honor of listening and attending a message yesterday with Dr. Layton, where he talked about something I'm going to talk about a little bit today. Not exactly, but he talked about potential and purpose, potential and your purpose. And today, what the Lord has put on my heart as we continue in this communications. We're kind of going through communication, learning how to have better communication because, when you can learn how to communicate, that's when you can learn how to grow. When you can learn how to communicate effectively, you can do great and tremendous things. Matter of fact, I think that communication is the single biggest deterrent today of churches, people, businesses growing and developing. So today, we're going to continue talking in our series. Last week, we specifically covered an area called listening with awareness and understanding, not just listening to respond, not listening to talk, but listening with awareness and understanding. And we came away with five key points. Number one, which was to be present. Number two was to ask open ended questions. Number three was to summarize for clarity when you get done having a conversation. Number four was to validate emotions, right? Make sure we know where the people are, make sure they feel valued, make sure they feel recognized. And then number five, actively respond. And I'm here to say that my wife and I had a meeting with one of our members over the weekend, and this particular person, after our meeting, provided great feedback. She actually sent me a text summarizing our meeting, summarizing what she was supposed to do and how she was supposed to follow up. She sent that, I think, on Saturday. We didn't respond on Sunday. She didn't say anything because she knows Sunday's a church day. We didn't respond today. And she followed up. Hey, just want to make sure that you got this. And this is what, we discussed. She didn't get offended that I didn't respond to her text immediately. She didn't get, because why? She's the one getting help, not me. So she is pursuing the thing that she is trying to get. Whatever you pursue, that's what you're going to get in life. So anyway, to that person, she's probably listening today. That was a very, very well written text, um, textbook formula of what we're talking about. So today, we're going to go to the next step, which is delivering feedback effectively, delivering feedback effectively. One of the things that you might have saw I put on Facebook, feedback is not criticism. Feedback is the bridge between potential and greatness. Feedback is not criticism. Feedback, write that down, is the bridge between potential and greatness. Um, what is potential? Dr. Layton really went into this yesterday in the message that I attended, and it was just um, awesome, right? Potential, write this down, it's from Dr. Layton himself. Potential is having or showing hidden qualities that may be developed. Having or showing hidden qualities that may be developed. Potential is who you really are, but no one knows it but God. I like that. Hidden potential is who you really are, but no one knows it but God. And then lastly, he said, hidden potential is untapped power. Hidden potential hidden potential is like oil under the ground. Hidden potential is like diamonds in a rock, right? It's there, it's great, it's dynamic, but it's got to be mined, it's got to be, you know figured out. So let's jump into today's message. Again, today what we want to just talk about briefly is how do we deliver effective feedback. Well, first of all, we got to understand that feedback isn't criticism, right? It's there to develop us, right? But feedback given the wrong way by a leader, by a manager, could really bring somebody down not build them up. Give you a great example. Imagine a scenario where, you have a manager that really, really means well, and, he just came out of a meeting, and you guys didn't make your numbers. You didn't meet the expectations of the company. And in passing, he looks at you and he says, "Hey, Pete, I just want you to know you're not meeting our expectations." And without any further explanation, he just continues to go about his business. How do you think that employee is going to feel? Let's put it in the church scenario. You walk by, and maybe the praise team just finished singing a song, and the praise team is exiting the church, and the team overhears pastor pull aside the lead singer, and say, "That really wasn't good," and everybody just walks out. How does that leave them feeling? Well, it leaves them feeling confused. A lot of times that can demotivate someone, right? So let's now consider how we could have did that differently. What if the manager who didn't meet his expectations instead of just saying that, what if he said something like, in last week's report, we really missed some key metrics. Let's schedule a meeting to sit down and review ways that we can keep this from happening again. And not only keep that from happening again, but let's discuss ways we can improve. Or in the scenario of the pastor, what if instead of the pastor saying that really didn't sound good, the head's walking by and he pulls apart, and the pastor says, "You know what? I really think that we're having some issues with our sound, and the way the speakers are designed and the way the tracks are working. That song didn't really come out well, didn't deliver to the potential that I think our team has. Let's sit down next week and talk about how we can get with the tech team and figure out a way to tune our speakers a little bit better and get better tracks." See what I'm saying? Effective feedback um, requires us to be specific, and it requires us to deliver that information with care, with understanding, with empathy, right? It's about addressing behaviors, not attacking personalities. Let me say it again. It's about addressing behaviors, addressing outcomes, addressing situations. It's not about attacking personalities, right? Feedback should always be a two-way street, right? Feedback should always create an opportunity for both parties to grow. Feedback should always create an opportunity for both parties to grow. Okay. So today, what I want to do is just real briefly, I want to give you what I call an SBI model: situation, behavior, impact. Situation, behavior, impact. Write that down. Situation, behavior, impact. Right. Number one, be specific. Number one, when you're talking to somebody and you're giving them feedback, be specific. Avoid vague statements. Provide concrete examples. You got that? Be specific. Avoid vague statements. Provide concrete examples. Number two, focus on behavior, not personality. Focus on behavior, not personality. So situation, behavior. Address the actions. That's how you stay away from the personality, not personality traits. Address the actions, not the personality traits. And then number three, for impact, end on a positive note. End on a positive note. Reinforce their strengths and express confidence that you have in that person's ability to improve. Okay. Now, let's just dive a little deeper. So be specific, right? Again, vague feedback causes confusion, it causes frustration. Don't be vague. Provide clear, concrete examples um, of issues or successes, right? Remember what we said earlier in another show: clarity builds trust and it ensures that you are being understood. Clarity builds trust. I was telling you about a conversation we had with a group on Saturday, and there was a time where I could see in the conversation that one of the parties wasn't getting what the other party was saying. I could see the communication breakdown clearly. So I did an example, and I gave them an example of where this person wasn't getting what this person was saying, right? Again, we're not trying to tear people down. We're not trying to hurt people's feelings. We're not trying to make people feel less than. We're just, but because some of these things, folks, are, there's a lot of reasons people struggle to communicate. Think about it. You're on this show today. When was the last time you really had anybody break down communication and how you talk and how you give feedback, right? And I am telling you that when we can take constructive criticism, when we can handle being told that we're wrong, when we can really do inner inspection and look at the things that we could improve on and get better at those things and drill on those things, that is your true step to greatness. I'm telling you. Again, clarity builds trust and ensures that you are understood. Number two, we talked about focus on behavior, not personality. You got to separate the actions from the personal traits to avoid defensiveness. Once somebody gets defensive or once somebody gets offended, let's say, that wall goes up. That wall goes up. We want to drive for and target improvement, not criticism. We don't need to criticize people. We need to address behaviors, right? When we're addressing behaviors, that will foster, that will build, that will develop growth without damaging the relationship. Okay. Don't make it personal. It's not personal. And again, when you're giving this feedback, when you're having these tough conversations, end on a positive note. Acknowledge the strengths. Express your belief in the individual's ability to improve. Don't leave them feeling hopeless. Don't leave them feeling like there is no better way. Don't leave them feeling like it's all only going to spiral downward. When you end your meetings, when you end your conversations, when you're giving feedback with positive reinforcement, it motivates the person and it builds their confidence. It motivates the person and it builds their confidence. Okay. And then another point to just recognize and remember, make sure that when you are talking and you are engaging, that it's two-way dialogue, right? Feedback is most effective when it's conversational, right? It needs to be a conversation. And you need to learn how to be quiet and listen, not listen to respond, listen to understand that person. So many times we draw conclusions. So many times that after the first sentence, we've already come to our conclusion point, right? You sometimes got to peel the onion back. You got to encourage the other person to share their perspective, especially when you don't agree with it. The best time to know that you need to encourage the person to go deeper is when you hear them say something. Like, for instance, give you a great example. Let's say somebody is constantly late and you are trying to help them develop in the area of being on time so they develop greater character and they can be viewed in the company or be viewed in the church as somebody that can be depended upon. Again, you can just get on them for being late. You can make fun of them. You can make a joke that's just going to alienate them, right? Now, let's say you decide to sit down and have that conversation with them, that tough conversation, to give them good, positive feedback about their tardiness. Okay. And let's say the minute you start talking, they start to give you the excuse. But hey, you don't understand. I got a flat tire, blah, 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 blah. And then your wall immediately goes up. Man, this clown's always making an excuse. Every time they're late, they have now your walls went up. Now they're really trying to tell you something and you're not hearing them. What's a different way to handle that? Well, empathize with it. Don't let that wall go up. So you got a flat tire. Tell me what did you end up doing? Well, I end up fixing the tire, blah, blah, blah. Okay. You know what? Hey, listen, Pete, I understand you got a flat tire this time. But is it fair to say that over the last 6 months, you've been late to a lot of meetings? See, you know what I mean? Just acknowledge it, but then dig into it and get their perspective, right? Have a two-way conversation. Collaboration makes feedback a growth opportunity. When we decide to collaborate, we decide to talk about it, it makes it a growth opportunity. Okay. I hope you got something out of this today. Don't forget the SBI model, situation, behavior, impact. Use it. It's a simple way to get the thought model in your mind about how you deal with people, how you um, provide and can create a structured approach that ensures feedback is clear, ensures that it is constructive, and ensures that it is action oriented. And when you watch this, you look at this note the young person that I met with sent me. As you guys can see, it's very, I'm not going to let you see it, but because I don't want you to read it, but she literally wrote down, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. I need very clear, very direct, very constructive, very action approach, right? So what does that do? That brings clarity. That makes everything much more clear. Write this down in closing. Effective communication begins with understanding, not accusation. Effective communication begins with understanding, not accusation. It's not about accusing people. It's not about calling people out. It's not about making people feel less than. It's about understanding people's potential and helping to develop it. Man, I learned a lot about potential yesterday from Dr. Layton, man. It is a really, really great thing. And listen, you can be, if you take this course that we're doing right now and you master it, you will become a potential baron. You will be a baron. You will be a master of helping others truly tap into their potential. And let me tell you something, there's nothing greater. There's no greater reward when you are the one responsible to help somebody unlock their potential. Amen. So listen, I love you guys. I hope you've enjoyed the show today. Until Wednesday, don't forget, man, get to church on Wednesday. Wednesday is going to be an unbelievable service. We're going to finish up on fasting, and then we're going to go into our fast, man. I am so excited. Until then, Pastor Nick saying, enjoy life.